Centuries ago, our ancestors relied on the barter system in order to acquire the goods and services that they needed in order to survive. And though not as commonly accepted today, the internet makes it easier than ever to gain access to the people who have the goods and services that you want. In this video, I'm going to be testing the limits of the barter system to see just how far we can go. Alrighty, so obviously in order to barter these things, we're going to need to have some kind of good or service that we can provide as a trade. Now, luckily for me, I've been running a pressure washing and painting business for the last 7 years. So I already have all the skills that I need in order to provide value to the customer. But if you're wanting to do this at home, you're just gonna need to come up with some kind of good or service that you're good at providing. So we're not gonna waste any time getting to the first deal, but before we do that, we need to outline what we're actually looking for. So the first thing that I'm looking for is a physical item. Now, I'm not thinking some small little gadget or gizmo. I'm thinking boat, or I'm thinking mini bike. I'm thinking something big here. The next thing is an experience. I am in desperate need of a vacation. So I'd like to barter myself at least a long weekend, if not a full week vacation. What that looks like, I don't know. And finally, I need a new gym membership. And I actually already have a huge deal in the works for this one, and it was actually the inspiration for this video. So stick around to see what I'm cooking up there. All right, so we're gonna get started by heading over to Facebook Marketplace and just scrolling around looking for some of the items that we might be interested in bartering for. So since we're doing a barter here, we're gonna wanna set our price parameters to be pretty low because it's not very likely that people are gonna be bartering a $25,000 boat with us, but a $1,000 to $3,000 boat, we have a chance. So now that we found some items that we're interested in, we're gonna head it over to ChatGPT so that we can get some help drafting our messages. I'm bartering some goods on Facebook. Can you please draft me a message to the seller offering my pressure washing services in exchange for the item? Now, this is important. Emphasize the fact that you know that this is an unusual request, but that you appreciate their consideration. Boom. I'm bartering some good came up with. Hey, I know this might be a bit of an unusual ask, but I wanted to reach out to see if you'd be interested in a trade instead of a cash deal. I run a professional pressure washing business and will be happy to offer full exterior cleaning service, house driveway, sidewalk, etc. in exchange for the item. I take a lot of pride in my work and stand behind the quality, so you'd be getting a high-end service. Totally understand that's not something that you're interested in. I just figured that it was worth asking. I appreciate you considering it either way. So I'm gonna now copy and paste this message and spam send it to as many people as Facebook will possibly let me. Alrighty, so we just picked up our brand new boat and we did not pay a dime for it. We're gonna be doing some paver sealing for this later this week, but today, we're not gonna waste any time getting out on the water. We're here at Wakaiva Island where we have a quick paddle upstream to the spring. We can do some fun activities, some swimming, some diving, all that good stuff. And before you say anything, oh, that's a kayak, not a boat. It's got numbers. It's a boat. I cannot wait to get on the water. I haven't had a day off work in 15 days. Now, technically we are working today, but I just can't wait to be out here. So let's go. Good morning. Today we are working off the kayak. We are going to be visiting 2 rental properties in the same neighborhood here. We're here at the first job now where we're going to be doing a clean, sand, and seal on all the front pavers. Then we're going to visit the second property where we're going to be doing a full house wash, driveway wash, and patio wash. Feels like here in Florida today is 105 degrees and the UV is 8. So of course I have my hat, my glasses, my water, and my sunscreen. We have a lot of work to do today, so let's not waste any more time.
So this here job has a retail value of about $2,000. Now, of course, I didn't get paid that in this current situation. I was only reimbursed for my materials. However, I was given a really nice boat for this. Now, due to my expertise, I was able to complete this job in a little over 6 hours. Now, don't you worry, I'm going to tell you exactly how I did that right after this epic montage.
All right, enough of that. I told you I'd tell you how it's done. So right now, I'm gonna tell you how it's done. Started with a thorough surface clean of all the pavers. Not just a regular surface clean, we're taking up every single weed, all the sand. We're starting fresh. I'm cleaning the gutters just cause I'm a nice guy. Followed by a thorough rinse. This driveway's looking real clean. Now that driveway's gotta dry, so I'm moving on to the next house, where I'm cleaning the entire pool deck, the whole exterior of the house, and the driveway. We're washing from the top down. Alright, now it's hot outside, so this driveway is drying fast. We're getting back over to the first house. It's time to resand the driveway. This part is tedious, making sure to get the sand into every single joint. Once the driveway looks like this, we're ready to seal. The first coat is gonna be a flood coat, applying a thick and even layer, ensuring to saturate all the joints heavily. Now we're really careful around the edges, making sure that we seal all the way up to the edge, but not get in the sidewalk or inside the garage. These are those little details that differentiate the pros from the noobs. Now we're gonna finish this project up with our second and final coat. This coat is the skim coat. This mixture is gonna have less water in it, but we're gonna apply it in a much lighter manner. This is gonna help bring a uniform shine to the driveway. And well, that's about it. We just cleaned, sanded, and sealed this driveway. And it's looking brand new. For my next barter, I'm here at the largest fitness club in all of Florida, where I'm soft washing the entire exterior in exchange for a 2-year membership. I grew up coming to this gym, but once I became an adult, I could no longer afford the high price tag. As I continued to drive past almost every day, watching the exterior grow dirtier and dirtier, I came up with a plan. I'd buy a membership just one more time, limiting myself to 2 months to strike a deal with management. And well, those 2 months came and went, and I hadn't made the deal. So I'm out of luck and out of a gym membership. But then the universe does something weird. I cleaned a customer's house, and she just so happened to be in management at the gym. I was in a meeting with the maintenance manager within 24 hours. The deal was a no-brainer. I'd soft wash the entire exterior of the building, and they'd give me a 2-year top dog membership and reimburse me for my materials. The contract was signed, and I started right away. Now there's just no way to show the sheer size of this job on camera, especially having done the job by myself, largely at night, in the rain. But do not take it lightly when I tell you that this was a big job. I estimated it to take me about 5 days. It took 8. Now normally I'd be annoyed, but I am committed to these videos. All right, so we just finished up our power washing and the gym closes in about 10 minutes. So let's go knock out as many activities as physically possible. Oh my god. You're lucky. Alrighty, so for our next barter here, I'm gonna try to get myself a little bit of a trip. I've been working really hard and I think I deserve a little mini vacation. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a bunch of money in my bank account, so instead I'm gonna utilize my bartering skills to see what I can get. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there is gonna have to be just a little bit of gatekeeping here as far as the platforms that I'm gonna be using, because A, they don't technically allow this, and B, I don't wanna oversaturate my market. This is something that I actually do, so I don't want a bunch of people coming in and ruining it for me. So like I said, this is something that I've been doing for a while, and one of those ways that I've been doing it is through Airbnb. Today, I'm gonna be using Airbnb, but for this particular barter, I used a different platform which is similar, but for RVs. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Airbnb and I'm gonna find the destination that I wanna visit. So let's say I wanna go to Miami. And then as far as the dates, this relies on last second occupancy. You wanna find a place that's probably gonna sit empty anyway. So when you message the host and offer your services, they're gonna be way more likely to accept because they're probably not gonna be earning money this weekend anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this weekend in Miami with 2 guests. And we're gonna go ahead and check out what's available. The general rule of thumb is you're gonna wanna try to stay away from the large corporate companies, hotels, things like that. They're gonna be a lot harder to work a deal out with. It's possible, but you're gonna wanna try to stay to those private hosts. So here we can see this is hosted by a private host. Looks like a nice place. It's in Miami. Everything that I want looks nice and cozy. So now we're gonna go back over to ChatGPT and have it create us a new message, but this time it's catered to the Airbnb. I'm looking to barter Airbnb for pressure washing or painting services. Please draft me a message. So here's what ChatGPT came up with. Hi, I know this is a bit of an unusual request, but I figured it couldn't hurt to ask. I'm a local business owner and I was wondering if you'd be open to trading a stay at your Airbnb. What I'm gonna do is copy and paste this message and send it to as many people as Airbnb will allow me to do. Now, like I said, I've done this with Airbnbs plenty of times. And I want to do something a little bit different this time, so I'm going to apply everything that we just talked about to an RV barter. Boom! RV barter was a smashing success. Here we got this RV that I'll be calling home for the next 5 days in exchange for 1 day of handyman work. I actually filmed an entirely separate video about my time in this RV. If you're interested in seeing that video and more about the RV, feel free to check that video out. But since I'm a nice guy, I'm gonna go ahead and show you just a little bit about it. All right, so welcome to the crib for the week. Give you a quick speed tour. Couch, dining room, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, shower. Cockpit. And the best part of all, I didn't pay a dime for this place.
All right, enough of that. It's time to get to work. That trip was a ton of fun, but we still owe this guy a day of our labor. Now, the beauty of the deal that I made is that since I took advantage of the last minute vacancy on the RV, the value of my barter didn't necessarily have to be equal to the value of the rental, but rather I just had to come up with an offer that the owner saw as worth it rather than leaving the RV in the driveway for the week. We ended up agreeing on 1 day of work at one of his rental properties where the showers were causing some water damage to the drywall. I began by ripping out all the affected drywall and giving the inside of the wall a really good clean. Before closing the wall up, I added a small horizontal stud so that I could add a towel rack which won't fall off. Looking back at this job, if there's one thing I wish that I did better, it would be that I didn't worry so much about getting the second piece of drywall in one piece, and worried more so about the seam in the middle, because this is going to come back later to haunt me. Next, we're getting everything taped, mudded, sanded, and then textured. If you're wondering where I'm going during all this dry time, I have a very similar repair that I'm working on in the downstairs unit, so I'm bouncing back and forth. Finally, I primed the wall and applied 2 coats of paint. Now, when I stood back and looked at this wall, I could not stand this end result. But the customer and the landlord were happy. They said their towels will always be on that wall. So we're good!